There's another weed that research says can help our health. It can also replace carbon fibre and can be used to build bridges and roads. But, well, it has a bit of an image problem.
Tell you what, you don't expect to be strolling through a field in the Waikato and stumble across acres and acres of hemp. Ahoy!
Oi, how are you?
Hey.
Radar.
Anne and Dave from the hemp farm want to share the good oil on hemp.
Stumbled into Shangri-La. How much of this would one have to consume in order to become what they call high?
You wouldn't get high no matter how much you
No.
consume. You get
Right.
a big headache and that's it.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's one of the real stigmas attached to it, isn't it? You know,
That's right.
everyone
Exactly.
thinks hemp and they think a whole lot of people growing dope.
That's right.
Hemp has literally hundreds of uses, including helping to clean the environment.
It sequences carbons from the atmosphere, on average about 30 tonnes of carbon out of the atmosphere per hectare. And then it also does soil remediation at the same time. From the stalks, you've got your cellulosic ethanol.
It's essentially biofuel.
It is
Yes.
biofuel.
Yeah.
The seed and the leaf are both very good cow fodder. In the Netherlands, they use the seed extensively instead of palm seed.
Because a farmer
We
could
fully
grow
support
it
that.
on his land, keeping the soil remediated, and it can also feed his stock.
It could provide the fuel that could power your tractors to put your crops back in the ground.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is there no end to its usefulness?
There is no.
Dave's also imported a newfangled machine to extract fibre from freshly cut hemp so that it can be used for everything from clothes to concrete.
The day if we grew so much hemp that we didn't know what to do with it, we could build our roads with it, build our bridges with it. Just use it like you would cement, except it's a lot lighter than cement. It's very insulative, and it's not doing the damage of what cement would do to the environment. This sequences carbons. Every product that you make out of hemp sequences carbons that's locked up in the product.
It's like a wonder plant.
You can put that on cotton reels and start making clothing and stuff with it tomorrow.
Clothing as well. I'd forgotten about the clothing.
Clothing, that's just another one. Hemp is 95% more sun protective than cotton, uses a sixth of the water to grow it, no chemicals involved. Yeah, that fibre is the longest, strongest fibre of any natural plant known to man. The tensile strength is just amazing.
I've heard that they've used stuff like this. It is a similar thing to carbon fibre.
Yeah, we've got people all over the world saying, we want your fibre. The Chinese are saying, well, we want that fibre. The Chinese astronauts have hemp astronaut suits, and they are bulletproof.
Stop it, Dave. Every time
Everything.
you open your mouth, you come up with another use for hemp.
And we haven't even started on how you can eat it.
Hand to the mill.
You've got the king of oils, the most balanced oil that you could use in your diet. Which you've got your omegas and all your amino acids in there. They used to use the oil in the Spitfire motors in World War II because it didn't freeze at high altitudes.
Is that right? You never see that on the History Channel.
American hemp must meet the needs of our Army and Navy as well as of our industries. Thus, plans are afoot for a great expansion of the hemp industry as a part of the war program. American hemp will go on duty again, thread for shoes for millions of American soldiers, and parachute webbing for our paratroopers, hemp for mooring ships, hemp for tow lines, hemp for tackle and gear, hemp for victory.
Here's some that we did just a couple of weeks ago.
So that's going to eventually turn into that.
That's
yes,
right.
all the sediment will just sink to the bottom.
Once you take the oil out, you've still got the superfood left over, and that still has the richness of the oil, but you've got a lot more. You've got fibre, you've got protein, big time. If you're going to the gym to bulk up muscle, it is the #1 powder.
I won't be doing that. So that's obviously no good to me.
All right, I'll tell you what, we can make pasta out of that. You
Seriously?
You mill it down to a fine powder, you make pasta, you make bread.
It's not often that I'm astounded, but I am astounded with just how many uses you can have for hemp. Henry Ford, the great car manufacturer, once believed that we could grow a car. Not literally. I mean, he hadn't been dabbling with hemp's more notorious cousin, believing that you could throw seeds into the ground and a car would appear, although what a great day that would be. No, in the 40s, the Ford Motor Car Company actually produced an experimental car. 2/3 of its bodywork comprised of hemp fibre. It was actually stronger than steel. You could whack it with a sledgehammer and it wouldn't dent. To make it even more environmentally sound, it ran on biofuel provided from the seeds of the hemp plant. The obvious spanner in the works? Well, the ban on hemp and alcohol. Can you imagine it? If that had happened, a field like this potentially could replace the petroleum and the steel industries. Wouldn't that be something? I'm literally, in some ways, sitting in a field of dreams.
It strikes me that perception is actually the big eco-issue. If pests can be harvested for their potential, it's win-win. And weeds could be our supercrops of the future.
If people can't see the potential of hemp, well, you'd have to say they're a bit dopey.